Hi, as you can see, we are not Christoph today.
No.
I'm Nicole and this is
Felix.
We are working as advisors at Blackboat, and a while ago Christoph posted a video how to become a Slack pro in less than 20 minutes. And many of you asked in the comments, what about Teams?
Yeah.
So today we are going to show you how Teams works.
Yeah. If you live on the planet Microsoft, you have to work with Teams. And why is that so? Because everything goes into the cloud. Also, this company named Microsoft started in the 80s, 90s, I don't know. And everything was local on a PC, and there was a server in the basement, and you need to make updates and everything. And now also Microsoft goes into the cloud. And Teams is the application and the central...
It's basically the hub where every other application connects, and you can just use it as a starting point to use the whole Microsoft 365 experience.
Yeah. Even though it's built for the cloud, you can use it as a local application, or you can use it in the browser, for example with Chrome, which is the one we prefer because it just works most fluently. Yeah.
Basically, we recommend using it in a browser as well.
Yeah, because you don't have to update the application itself. You always have the newest functions, but you need always internet.
True. So maybe let's get started with the basic setup.
Yeah, the basic. So for everybody who knows Slack, you have channels, and Teams, you have teams.
So if you know how a messenger works, I think it will be pretty intuitive to get to know Teams. But of course, there are specific features unique to Teams. So basically, what you have at the beginning is the Teams. So it's a Teams.
Yeah, it seems. Yeah, you need.
It's a little confusing sometimes, but
you need a team to build a team. In every organization, you have different teams, different departments, and from there you can build your teams in Teams.
Or if you have a special project, you can use this also as a team.
So your teams in Teams is not always your department. It changes your mind to projects and to subjects. That's also the thing with Teams. You don't have to, because there's a SharePoint behind it, you don't think in the original file structure you have in the 90s IT. If you create a team, you create a SharePoint. And if you create a channel in this team, you create subfolders below this SharePoint. SharePoint is the Microsoft Cloud with OneDrive. Your personal storage is SharePoint, your shared storage. Before you start creating your teams, you need to think about the structure you want to have. Because if just you create a lot of teams, you have later the file structure behind it, and then you have to delete it or move files from another team to the new team. So it's crucial to think about your organization, how your workflow is done, and what's best for it to communicate with each other.
Yeah, it's important to notice that you should have the structure in mind, because you can change the name of a team, but the SharePoint behind it will keep the old name. So basically, you will create a big chaos if you change the name afterwards, and you want to move the data that is inside a certain SharePoint. It's just a big hassle. So yeah, it makes sense to think about it beforehand. Maybe we start with a little example of our own.
The basics. First, let's go to the structure of Teams. It's actually built very intuitive. You have on the left side, you have your activities, you have where you see all your notifications, Then you go below to chat, where you have private chats, because you also can communicate with your colleagues outside those teams.
So the one-on-one chat we really recommend only for private conversations, such as, talking about lunch plans, whatever, because it makes more sense to use transparent channels to really get the efficient effect of collaboration in teams.
At Blackboat, we almost have everything transparent, and I've never been to an unnecessary meeting or an update meeting, because you always know in your projects what's going on, where are we.
And we have colleagues all over Germany, so a part of us is in Berlin and some other colleagues are in southern Germany, but still you kind of have a feeling what everyone is up to, and we feel more connected through this kind of communication, I think.
So back to the basics. When you go further below, you see the calendar. There you can organize your meetings, or you can even meet now if you want to do a video call to your colleague or a special group. It's very self-explaining, actually. You also see your upcoming events. Below you have your calls. It's actually a contact book and the history of your recent calls. Mm-hmm. Then you have files. You see all your files which are shared with you, and even your OneDrive. So Teams is the hub for everything on the planet Microsoft. You have a lot of further apps, and you also can individualize these row. It always depends on what you want. That's the thing with Microsoft. You have so many functions, you have so many possibilities. You have to pick the functions you need, which keep your workflow on the best possible way. So let's go to Teams, huh?
So as you might know, we at Blackboat, we use mainly Slack. So we use Microsoft Teams to collaborate with clients, for example. We will get to that a little bit later. But we have an example team for Blackboat in here. And once you create a new team, there's always the first channel, which is called General Channel, which we use for, like a basic update channel where everyone was posting in the morning, hey guys, I'm working on this particular project today. You can reach me via WhatsApp or Slack, or you can only use our emergency channel today. So if you scroll through that, you just get an idea what everyone in the team is up to during the day.
Actually, we copied those channels from our Slack, and we have a certain way how to name our files and our channels, so we always know where we have to look up stuff. So in this case, we copied the most important channels from our organization, the competitors, where we share knowledge we have about our competitors, the fun stuff where people can post fun stuff they find on the internet, or
where's the nice GIF?
Yeah, the nice GIF is gone, I think.
I think it's in Office Hamburg.
Okay. Then we have a channel for good news, where we only post good news. For example, last week this couch came and someone posted, hey guys, we got new furniture.
Very good news.
Very good news, yeah. Best couch ever.
Good to work on.
Then another one is for jobs, concerning HR news.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah, you get the idea.
You read the channel and you actually know immediately what you're going to find in that. So
exactly.
That makes sense to do that.
Yeah, BB is for Blackboat, no? Internal stuff. Compared to Slack, where you only exchange files and communicate with each other, Microsoft is your working station for broader task and task management.
Okay, so next to the conversation in the channel, you can you have a file tab, and you can also add multiple other tabs. So if you click on the plus, you can see like a big variety of apps you can choose from, which you can integrate into your certain channel. So for example, we have decided to include a planner in here, but you could also use a certain Word document or a website or whatever you need, maybe a Trello board. So there are endless possibilities, basically.
Asana, Adobe Creative.
Yes. And I want to show you our planner, which looks a little bit like a Kanban board, if anyone knows that. You have buckets with which you can customize. So we have tasks which are on hold, urgent, or have to be revised. And you can add a certain task into any bucket you like. And you can decide who has to finish this task and set a due date for the task. So I can see Andreas, our colleague, has to call Frank, and it seems to be an urgent task. And if you just finish a task or complete a task, you can click it here and...
Yeah, Andy gets a notification.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets a notification with this red dot above here, hey, you finish your task. And here's now the thing why it's a little bit cooler than Slack. Cooler, is it a word? You have the chat function, show tab conversation. And then you click on here and you start a conversation about this planner. Mm-hmm. And if we write now here, for example, I don't know, awesome planner, if we could write, awesome planner, and then we send, colleagues could reply here, but also this will be in the conversations tab.
Yeah, and what is really nice, you don't need to go somewhere else and use another app which is external. You just have everything in one place, so that's very nice about Microsoft Teams.
I can show you now. You just add a Word file, testy, as a new tab. Now we have this Word file as a tab, and you can, for example, chat about this file, like test.
Yeah, and you can also edit the file right here in Teams.
Yeah, and now it also will apply here. As we said before, Slack is more about exchanging files and communicate with each other. On the controverse, Microsoft Teams is to work together and chat next to it. For example, if we have here this tab with this Word file and I want to mention myself, hey Felix, when will you be finished? So then I will get a notification in my Teams, and I also can see this message in the conversation board where everybody can reply and not has to search for this file. But back to basics, to the collaboration, we have here this tab with the Word file, so we can work, edit in Teams. It's a very, very skinny version of Word. It's the Teams version. And if you have more complicated stuff to do, like formatting or bigger files, then you also can open this Word file in the desktop app, as you usually know, like the local one where you have to start it and everything, or you open it in the browser. And here's the cool stuff, because we work on the cloud, it's always the same file. And that's the difference between Slack and Teams mostly, because this is where it happens. And if you work in a very, very simple organization, you can work the whole day in Teams. You don't have to leave Teams because there is your internal communication, there are your colleagues, there are the file you need to the files. As Nicole mentioned before, there's a tab with files, and this is the folder to the Blackboat team channel general. I have another tab called files in competitors, and now I open the subfolder competitors. If I really want to open it, I always can open it in SharePoint, and then I open a different window and can work from here if I want to. But it's not as beautiful and not as self-explaining as Teams.
So we showed you like the basic setup of a team right now, and now we want to take a step back and show you how to create a team in the first place, because there are certain decisions to make in the process. So you just find the button down here on the bottom, join or create team, and then you can create a team over here. So here's your first decision to make. You can build a team from scratch or create it from an existing office group or team. So we're gonna do the first step. And the next decision would be, is the team supposed to be private or public? So we encourage you to, if it's not really necessary because you're handling some really top business secrets, we always encourage to use a public team so everyone in your organization can join it. We usually create a team for every client, so we can just use a client's name ABC, for example. That would be an example team.
If your organization is concentrated on, for example, a couple of customers, a couple of clients, and your workflow is very complicated and you have a lot of communication about certain topics, then it's maybe wise to make a team for every client, and then all the smaller projects go in one channel. If you have, for example, with us, we have a lot of customers through the year, a lot of projects and very, very fast projects, and through those project times, everybody needs to be on top. So for us, I would recommend to have one team called customer or clients, and then each channel is a customer and a client. Because you can't hide the information. Everybody needs to read it if they want to be informed. If you have, like I said before, certain teams for each customer, some people mute channels because because they think they don't have to know everything. But yeah, if something goes wrong, it's always good that everybody knows, at least in a broad way, what's going on.
So we imagine ABC to be a big project, so we're creating a new team for it. Nice work. And now I can add members to a team. So Felix would be a member for sure.
Awesome.
Who else could join? Katarina maybe? And let's see if Antonia likes to join. Okay, so I have a couple of members already, and here I can also decide if somebody is going to be an owner or only a member of a team. We always recommend to have at least 2 owners of a team, because if somebody is on vacation or sick or leaves the company, you always have somebody that is a backup owner.
Especially when they leave the company, because then you have to go to the IT and ask them to add a new owner and add new people. And if you always have a backup owner, no problem.
No problem, yeah. So here's our team. As you can see, the general channel has been created already. And if we click here, we can add another channel, for example, for tech topics.
every time you create a team, the channel general is generated and 3 tabs: conversation, files, and wiki. The wiki looks like a OneNote notebook, and usually you think, okay, maybe we can I said, yeah, we can use it as a wiki. And if someone needs to know something, they just go on the search function and maybe they will find the information. So yeah, we have everything together. But no, at the moment, you can't search through your wiki. It's at the moment not possible. Therefore, we always remove this tab. And if you really want to have something comparable, you can add another tab with the OneNote book or OneNote.
Which you can search.
Which you can search, and way more possibilities. All the functions and what your colleagues or everybody will be able to in Teams depend on the IT administration. There are so many possibilities how to configure your Office 365 cloud, and you need to know what are you doing, and especially what are the rights your members and colleagues will have.
So, of course, when working with a client which does not belong to your company, you might want to share files or just communicate with them anyway. So there's a possibility to invite external guests into your team, into your company team. And also we are being invited regularly into external teams from our clients. So you can see it on top here.
On the right top, there you have the Blackboat, our organization, and the couple of other organizations where we are guests. If you configure your O365 cloud right, also the guests of your organization will get the right, enough rights to work proper. Because sometimes they're not allowed to do a lot of stuff, and it's very restricted. Sometimes a project is done, or the project is on hold on a long-term basis, or a team doesn't feel necessary anymore. So there's a very, very important thing: do not delete the team, because if you delete the team, you delete the SharePoint behind it. And as we now live in a time of cloud and where storage is available where storage is just available, just archive it, and you can reactivate it later if it's necessary. If you delete the team, you delete the SharePoint, and on SharePoint there are all your important files. And you want to keep your files because maybe they become important, or there are new people who join the company, and maybe it's helpful to start work at your place.
Yes, another. Yeah, we have our retreat tomorrow and the day after, so a lot of colleagues are arriving throughout the day from Berlin and other places, so it's really crowded today, which is nice. But another way to clean up your teams a little bit, if you don't want to archive or delete a team for good, you can leave it. Yes, exactly. Yeah. You can just hide it. If you click on those 3 buttons here, you can just choose hide and it's gone, and you can see hidden teams over here. If you open this, you see all the teams that I have hidden. So if I don't need them on a regular basis, I can just hide them, and it's much more cleaner over here. But you can also hide certain channels that you don't find very interesting, but not for the general channel.
If you think this channel is important, but not as important to get notified all the time. You can individualize your notification settings by each channel. So here all new posts are off, and channel mentions like add channel, add general, you get a banner, the thing that always pops up, or in the feed, that's the notification activity notification above on your left side. That also you can change to off or only show in the feed the activity notification. Always turn off all your notifications. There's one more thing, because those are the notifications for every single channel, but there's more. You have your notifications for Teams. You click on your suite icon above here, and then you go to settings, and here you have the notification center, and you can decide if you are personal mentioned, you get an email or a banner, or only show in feed the activity notification
on your upper left side.
On your upper left side. This depends on your workflow. If you really use Teams and you have it open like all day because it's the center of your work, you don't need a notification via mail, because then once or two times a day you open your Outlook, and then you got like a bunch of irrelevant emails. So I would recommend to just turn it off or only show in feed. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, it really helps with focus work if you're not distracted every couple of minutes with another mention. So it's important to look at those settings.
Yeah, same with your email. Because if you work really focused in some document, and then always you have this small pop-up on your right below side, new email, new Teams notification, new planner notification, new to-do notification, new ICQ, new Skype, whatsoever, just stop it and focus. Start focusing. And because if you have the time to look up all those different applications wherever you communicate, then you have the time. Be your own master of time.
Beautiful.
Damn! So, as I said before, you got your notification settings for each channel. You have your notification settings for Teams, and then you have your notification settings for Planner, and then for To-Do. So you really have to take your 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it depends, and go through all the apps when you start, and set everything right, because otherwise it will be a pain in the ass. And also preach this to your colleagues, because if they are annoyed, they don't like the new tools, and you will have a much harder time to implement those awesome tools and those awesome ways of working, because it's a culture change and not actually just another tool. It changes everything. So to change your Planner notifications, you have to go in Planner. Here you have the globe, you click on the globe, and then another tab will open with your Planner, and here on the bell you can change your notifications.
So basically we gave you a brief overview of our Teams setup, and now we have some special hacks for you to make it extra interesting. So I already mentioned that we often work with other companies and invite external guests into our teams, for example. But what is also an option to do is every channel and every team has its own email address, which you can share. So if you click on this button over here, you see Get Email Address, and a window opens, and you get a really long and complicated and crazy email address. But you can just copy it and share it with whoever wants to send you an email, and you don't have the problem that it's outside of Teams again. It just gets straight into your channel. One more thing, you can also use this long and encrypted email, for example, on your homepage if you have a contact form, for example, and add it as the recipient. So it goes straight into the channel, and it's very transparent. Everybody sees the message immediately and can react to it, and other people see if somebody already reacted to it, which is very nice.
Okay, hack number 2. So it's not really a hack, but it's kind of handy. For example, if we go to fun stuff, and I want to ask my colleagues, hey guys, we want to order pizza for lunch. Where from? Where from? So I could go around and ask my colleagues and call some because they're not here yet, or I just start a poll here by asking the question and reply by myself. Yeah, Jill Pizza. Another one is maybe Pizza Puro and New York Slice. And my colleagues can answer via an emoji or something, and at the end of the day we know where we want to order pizza. There's another possibility how to ask your colleagues where they want to order pizza from. You can do it with a bot. So like here, type in add forms and ask the question, and after the question mark you just type in the answers via comma, divide them via comma, and then there will be a form after a second. Yeah. And then you have a very, very nice and conform form. Another hack, if you have a very important announcement, in Teams you have the possibility via the A on your bottom left in the conversation to format your message with the subject, or for example ordering pizza for lunch. Today is all about the pizza.
Felix is hungry, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Ordering pizza for lunch. Then I could add some different content. No. And then can add some paragraphs, some header, etc. pp. That's not new. But what's new is that I can post this message to multiple channels. I have to pick each channel by hand, but that's so new. It just came out today. So now we just click on send, and it's in every channel. You don't start a conversation, a collaborative conversation across the channels. You start a new conversation in each channel. As you've maybe seen before, you also can decide who can reply to your announcement.
So that was it for our hacks that we shared with you, and now 2 more features, and I think we're gonna be finished, but very important ones. So you can show your colleagues in your team what you're up to and set a status. So if you click on your picture on the top right, you can decide whether you're available, busy, you don't want to be disturbed, and you don't get any notifications then also. You can set it to be right back, and you can also set your individual status message. So I would say out for pizza.
Oh yeah.
And you can also decide when to clear this message, after today or in 1 hour, for example. I think I will be back by then. And people will see it if they check if you're available or not.
If you're running Teams for a while, there's something called Microsoft Analytics. There you can check how everybody is communicating in Teams. If a lot of people communicating in private chats or in channels, or how many people do calls, videos, etc. pp. Yeah, it's just a nice little thing to know how your culture is evaluating through this change, and where you maybe have to work on, or where it's going very well. So that's with hacks from our side. If you want to stay on top, there will be a link in the description, or click here. There. There. Okay. I'll click there to stay on top what's going on with what are the newest updates on Teams. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please write them below in the comments. We will answer them.
If you want to know more about how to use Slack, you have a video over here, and you can subscribe to our channel over here for more content. Thanks for watching.